mindset. So, yeah. Anyway, there was a question, people, a problem. I was asked by someone, and I didn't really like. Somebody asked a question. They said, "Look, how do I find out I'm about to get married?" This was a woman, female, male to male. Right. So they asked, "I'm about to get married. How do I ascertain?" Rather, how does one one must ascertain that my husband to be is not impotent? How do I ascertain this? Problem है यार, बहुत बड़ी समस्या है. So I was like, well, why would you think this is going to be the problem? So they said, well, apparently I think this woman had maybe been in a relationship before, as in a marriage before, that didn't work, but one of the main reasons was impotence. So guys, this big problem, because what could you, and then she's under the impression if I just ask, they're probably going to lie and say no problem. So you think, well, right, so what is the solution? Yaar, sab milke, let's all get together, juntos, and let's try and figure out a solution. All hands on board here. Or is it on deck? What could one possibly say? I was like, oof, the problems of ishq. Ishq. I was like, well, I'm sure there's other ways of finding out, but wahan jata kaun hai? You know, that one, that, oh, this, yeah, where's that? There was a poem, actually. I didn't read that out today. Let me just, a famous one of Ahmad Faraz Sahib. He says, रफाकतों में पशेमानियां तो होती हैं कि दोस्तों से भी नादानियां तो होती हैं. वाह 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 वाह. So, but this is actually a very epic poem of his, that he says, बस इस सबब से कि तुझ पे बहुत भरोसा था, गिले ना हो भी तो हैरानियां तो होती हैं. उदासियों का सबब क्या कहें बजुज इसके. बजुज means except. बजुज इसके ये जिंदगी है, परेशानियां तो होती हैं. वाह 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 वाह. फराज भूल चुका है तेरे फिराक के दुख, के शायरों में तन आसानियां तो होती हैं. तन आसानियां is comfort, but this ये जिंदगी है, परेशानियां तो होती हैं. So I was a bit baffled. What kind of advice can I give? I was like, well, I don't know. This is a tricky one. It's ishq muamala, you know, ishq. But I don't know, people. Somebody said, tell her to wear yoga pants and then go and see him. You know, that reminds me, this ishq, you know, you guys may have heard of a famous Arabic linguist of the past. He's very involved in adabiyat and poetry, and his name was Al-Asma'i. So Al-Asma'i, he says, one day I was walking along and I saw this rock, and somebody had etched into it a poem, and the person had written, wow, we're getting late, guys, but chalo, I'll do this and then we'll wrap it up. He had written in the poem, he said, I mean, etched onto the rock. He said, أيا معشر العشاق بالله خبروا إذا حل عشق بالفتى ما يصنع. Allah, Allah, Allah. He said, oh, lovers. Yaar, lover. He says, by Allah, you have to tell me, what does a guy do if love has overcome him? Allah, Allah, ishq kamina. So Asma'i says, you know what? I said, I wrote underneath it a response. You know, like comments in that day and age. Today's commenting, he's commenting on the rock. So he says, I etched under it. I wrote, يواري هواه ثم يكتم سره ويخشع في كل الأمور ويخضع. He says he has to play his desires. He has to kind of do politics with them. He has to hide this secret. And he has to kind of keep a low profile and be very fearful. So he says, I came back the next day and I saw a response. This texting going on, people, in real time. So the person had written underneath it. Let me just open this one moment. See my Facebook, gente. So the person had written underneath it. He said, كيف يواري والهوى قاتل الفتى. That how can he hide it? And this passion is killing him. وفي كل يوم قلبه يتقطع. Allah, Allah. And every day my heart is tearing up, people. Oof, the passion. So Asma'i then says, I responded. Once again, comment. He writes, he says, I wrote, he says, إذا لم يجد, he says, إذا لم يجد المرء, no. إذا لم يجد صبرا لكتمان سره فليس له شيء سوى الموت ينفع. He says that if he can't find any patience to hold on, if this is that overwhelming, then the only thing left for him is death. He just kills him off. He goes that then you might as well just die. There's nothing left for you. So he says, I came back the next day and there's a reply. So the reply was, سمعنا وأطعنا ومتنا فبلغوا سلامي إلى من كان في الوصل يمنع. Allah, Allah, Allah. He says that, you know what? We hear and we obey. And we are now dead. I don't know how he carried on writing after saying we are dead. He says, but convey my message to the one who has prevented, as in her, or this is a he, so it's a her, who didn't let me connect with her. Allah, Allah, Allah. Hani'an, he has another line with it. He says, Hani'an li arbabir na'imi na'imuhumu walil ashikil miskini ma yatajarra'u. Allah, Allah. He says, the people of life, they are living life. But the ashikul miskin, look at what he suffers. So people, that I was reminded of that because of this poor lady's predicament. This predicament, right, that she found herself in. I really did not know what to kind of advise, because I was like, well, this one big problem, so it goes to show sometimes the problems people are having. This can be a problem. I'm sure there must be a pill out there that can resolve a lot of problems, huh? If only there was, huh?